What's up, jerks? Hello, happy Wednesday. Feeling chill today. I took a couple days off, catching up with my life. Also, I'm doing a lot of stock trades today. I don't know if I told you, but I'm selling all those big tough gangers. I'm buying the oil hype. I am buying the oil stocks, the energy stocks. We might talk about that maybe later tonight, tomorrow. Who knows? If you want my stock picks, if you want to know what I'm doing, check out Twitter. But we have a special guest tonight, a music man, somebody I've been familiar with for decades, doing his thing. He's award winning. He was on national television at one point, season finale of a CSI season finale. He was performing his song with the lead character of CSI at one point. I can distinctly remember that. Maybe we'll pull that up tonight. But he's played at Farm Aid. He's won Boston Music Awards. He's like I said, been around for decades. And most recently, he entertained us with these COVID concerts through COVID, which was amazing. And then I saw a few things that happened that I just kind of blew me away. Number one is he performed with the guy that I talk about on the show all the time. You guys know I'm kind of a grunge guy. I'm kind of into Nirvana. I'm into Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder. He performed with friggin' Eddie Vedder. And I've known Will for quite a few years, like I said, for his music. He booked him like for an event for Masscan one year when he was doing Farm Aid. So I've known about him, especially through Carmelita and some of the other local music shows and seeing him perform. If you're into music locally, you know who Will Dailey is. Very happy. We're going to have him on the show tonight. He's here, ready to go. He's got a new release. It's a streaming release. Yeah, Eddie Vedder. Thank you to all the ladies in the chat tonight. Thank you, Sarah. I know you're excited tonight about this. Hey, jerks. Yes, all the jerks are here. Please make sure you like and subscribe. But yes, he performed with Eddie Vedder. Can you believe that? I mean, sorry, I always say it's like my dream guest would be. Everyone says, who would be your biggest guest you would get most excited about? Probably be Eddie Vedder. This is probably as close as I'll ever get to it. We have someone who performed on the stage. We can show the picture too. We got a couple pictures of this. There he is. There's Will Dailey and Eddie Vedder, our next guest, going to be on the show tonight. And again, like I said, he's Boston Music Award winning. But the reason we have him on, not to like all talk about Eddie Vedder and all this other stuff, and the Bruce Springsteen picture, we'll throw that up in a second. But he's got this new release, this new streaming release. It's out physical. You can buy the record. You can buy the CD, I believe. It's been out for a while, but now it's coming to streaming. He's going to talk about his new release and putting out music in 2026. And like I said, he's been around for a while. I think this is also going to be a good show to have like an old veteran, a creative veteran out there who's been he's been a DJ in the past, I believe, with Boston Radio Boston, I believe, back in the day. He's put a lot of music out. He's done a lot of interviews. He's creative. He does a lot of live shows and the ups and downs of the creative process. I think some of us are all going through that all the time. And so I think it'd be good to speak to him tonight on what keeps him going. So without any further ado, this is a long intro. Let's bring up a music man, a real music man, a songwriter, a great performer, and just a good guy too. He's got good politics as well. He's a really smart guy. He's easy on the eyes for the ladies. Will Dailey, welcome to the Young Jurks tonight. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for that intro. You got your 1 degree of separation to Eddie Vedder. This is it. You did it.
I'm in now. I
You
think
did it. Yeah. Eddie Vedder. I'm sorry, I pronounced it incorrectly.
Eddie Vedder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
how did that happen? Let's kick that off because that's my whole thing. Like I'm so like how does that happen? How do you get up on stage and what songs did you play and who picked the songs? Did he pick the songs? Were they already set up? What happened?
Well, I actually we met in 2015. Um,
2050.
but he is my spirit animal, and I was asked to do this event in Chicago called Hot Stove Cool Music, which started off in Boston. And they said, we have a Chicago event. You should really do it this year. You're really going to want to do it. I was like, yeah, I'll do whatever you guys want. Absolutely. And they're like, no, you're really going to want to do it this year. And Vedder was headlining.
Wow.
And as dreams often go in our minds, they don't go in reality. I've been in the arts, like you said, for about 30 years, and seldom do they come out in reality as they proceed in our hearts, or as we sometimes block them from proceeding in our hearts. But for whatever reason, I'm in this club in Chicago, holds 1,200 people, and I know at sound check, I'm going to meet Eddie Vedder, and my life will be complete. All my friends are just following on text and just freaking out. I immediately feel like I've won life, and I won the game of life. And the man comes in the room, goes around, meets everybody, locks eyes with everyone, shakes hands. And I'm just like, I get to sit here in this room with like 30 other people and watch Eddie Vedder sound check with a trio. He had the drummer from Cheap Trick and a bass player named Jason Narducci, who's an amazing bass player. He's out right now doing that R.E.M. cover stuff with Michael Shanahan, the actor. That they just got Michael Stipe up on stage with them. They're like a sanctioned R.E.M. cover project, sanctioned by R.E.M.
Cool.
So it's just the three of them on stage, and they're doing a bunch of tunes, bunch of classic punk rock covers. And Vedder says I just met him 20 minutes ago. He says into the microphone, "Hey, does anybody know my song Wish List?" And for whatever reason, I went to my guitar, grabbed my guitar out of my case, and I walked up to the stage and I'm like, "Do you mean like you need another guitar on it?" And he goes, "Yeah, do you know it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Come on up." And 20 minutes after meeting the man, I'm on stage with him, and he's looking at me, he's like, "What kind of guitar it is?" And my friend had started this guitar company and made me this guitar, and I'm telling him all about the guitar. And then the next thing I know, I'm just playing on Wish List, and we got through Wish List, and he's like, "Do you know the Kids Are All Right?" It's like, "Yep, I know it. Play the Kids Are All Right. You know Rockin' in the Free World?" "Yeah, I know it. Rockin' in the Free World." And I went from being on the bill with the guy, meeting him, to being on stage for like 4 or 5 tunes. And I've been pals with him since. And as I have stories for days, but that was my first time playing with him. That was, I don't know, one of 7, 8, or 9 times. I think the picture you showed was last fall. We're just doing
It was more recently, yes.
private
Yeah.
event. We did that song Society on that event. But he's just a fan of music and of people and of, I would say, truth. So, that was another event in Chicago a couple years ago for Chris Chelios, the hockey player's retirement party. And it's quite a wonderful thing. I've been in the trenches of this business for a long time, and it gives you certain ways to navigate this business to end up in these opportunities, and being able to walk up and be like, "Yeah." I mean, he could have been like, "No, I was talking to the guys on stage about Wish List," but I just lucked out. And maybe he really did mean to them, but he saw this dude come up. He's like, "Do you mean us? Do you know the guitar on it?" He's like, "Who is this fool?" He's like, "I better let him up." But it worked out, and we've been pals since. And he's been just super kind. Put me on Ohana a couple years ago. Played Ohana Fest out in San Diego.
But you played his festival. Wow, because I've always wanted to go to that. I see it's like very well curated. Like he
Yeah, and
picks,
it's like,
it's like
as
who
far
he
as fest
picks.
go, yeah,
Yeah.
and as far as fest go, it's just like they get a little stressful. And if you're someone like me and you're on fests, you're on in the day, you're really rushed. And it can be great, and it can also just be a messy whirlwind. And sometimes you don't even get to hang out at them because you're playing at like 3 o'clock, and you only have access to get your van into the stage area. Then you got to get out because another band's got to get in 2 slots later, and you can't even hang out that much because you might have to get to the next show. But that one, I kind of ended a tour with that show, so I got to just chill the whole time and watch Pearl Jam. And it's led to a lot more Pearl Jam shows that I've been going to since I was 13 or 14 years old.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you right spot, right time. Do you know Wish List? Yes, I know that Pearl Jam song. Yes, I know that Who song. Yes, I know that Neil Young song. You knew everything that he was asking you to play. That's just like right place, right time. That's so much in life. It's weird how that just, like you said too, so many times you think something's gonna happen. Like you can never know how things are going to turn out, good or bad. Like on this stuff,
Yeah,
like what's in our head is never what actually happens. Like that is the one thing we all learn as we grow older. I think we just have to just accept it, right?
absolutely. And for me, everything that's worked out in my life with the arts, as far as the business measurement or the stuff like this, it's always been the slow, patient way around. Like the stick, like I said, the trench kind of warfare of this business, and just sticking with it and just being true. I don't want to say to myself, just true to the importance of doing the work of what it means to be a musician, and not letting any of the metrics or any part of our society decide if I'm worth it or not. And not allowing that allowed for moments like that to happen. Um, or like the Springsteen thing this January. And it's interesting because at that time when that in 2015, I had this Mr. Miyagi character in my life, a guy named Al Cooper, some people might know, but Al Cooper is kind of like the Forrest Gump of rock and roll. He started Blood, Sweat, and Tears. He produced Sweet Home Alabama and Freebird. He also played the B3 on Like a Rolling Stone with Dylan, and he's in the movie. He's in that Timothy Chalamet movie. His character's there, and you can see him like they highlight it because Al Cooper showed up to the session to play guitar, and he got there, and Mike Bloomfield showed up, and Mike Bloomfield was considered the top blues rock and roll guitar player of the time. So Al Cooper's like, "Fuck, I have no chance here." And Dylan was like, "Did anybody play B3?" And Cooper's just like, "I play B3." And he had never played B3. He plays piano and stuff, but B3 is a beast with all these levers and knobs and just copious choices. And he just got in there and he leaned into his musicality. And on playback, Dylan was like, "Bring up that B3 lick." So now when you start like Rolling Stone, it's Al Cooper finding his way through his own being and musicianship and passion, and just the sheer will to stay in the room. And I was having lunch with Al like once a week at that time when I went out to play Chicago with Vedder, and he said, "You just always say yes. Wait to get kicked off the gig, wait to get kicked out of the studio, wait to get kicked off the stage, but say yes, say you can do it, because you never know what you're gonna bring." So when he's like, "Wish list?" I was like, "Yeah, I know wish list. I know it." And then, kids are, I'm like, "I know it's an A." you know? And so yeah.
The toughest part of life is not talking yourself out of stuff and not like
That is
going
it,
outside your
man.
comfort zone. I found
Yeah.
myself that I used to do that a lot. I would never go outside my comfort zone. Now I always do. Like if someone says, "Hey, you want to do right wing radio?" I'm like, "Yes!" Like I'm in, even though like
Yeah.
I'm not ready for radio, but I'll do it. I'll do it, and
Yeah.
it's work. People actually like it. It's funny. So like anything, like it's like I don't care what it is. If you get an opportunity, just go for it and give it a shot. I love that. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. And it just fortifies you and it sharpens you. And um yeah, man, I love this lifestyle. It's pretty addictive, and it can be pretty abusive. So you have to have um a, a certain mindset, and it's not just work and grind it out. And well, if everyone's doing this on social media now, that's what you do. I'm not really. That's not my thing. My thing is make sure if I make it about music and people, then I'll come out on top. And if I prioritize those two things in our connection through music before I even prioritize, what record sales are and what records are important, I tend to try to step back to keep my mind healthy and just step back from even looking at music through a lens of the past 100 years, and look at music through the lens of what it means in our DNA. And that keeps me afloat. That keeps me going in the lifestyle to create more opportunities like the picture you have up right now, which is bananas when I look at it right now as I'm talking to you. I should probably
It's
get it
amazing.
framed or something.
Yeah, you
His
definitely should. That
I
should be
did
the thing that you look at if you ever have any doubts. It's like
I
you
know I
just look
should
at
get
it.
it on. I should get it behind me, but my piano. But I was playing an event here in Boston at the Wing for the Folk Americana Roots Hall of Fame. A lot of people don't know right now the only Hall of Fame in America that's in a living venue is here in Boston at the Wang, and it's the Folk Americana Roots Hall of Fame. And they were opening an exhibit last month, History of American Music, and they asked me to play a song, and a song from the American Songbook and a song of mine. So I picked Bruce's original demo of Born in the USA, which is more of a folk song, and the lyrics really get through. And the moderator of the event, after that picture was taken, about a month after that picture was taken in January, was a guy named Bob Santilli, who's the director of the soon-to-open Bruce Springsteen Archives for American Music. So someone's like, "Oh, well, just met Bruce. You're the moderator of the event," which I had no idea he was going to be the moderator. And he's like, "Oh, tell me about it." And I showed him the picture. He goes, "Holy shit, I've never seen Bruce so happy in a picture in a long time." So
look happy. He's like, he does look very happy there.
He does.
He looks as happy as you are. It's like,
well, the good part is Danny Clinch took that picture.
Oh, he did.
He did, and we were joking around, and so Danny pulled me down a hallway. I knew, again, it was kind of like that Vedder gig. Like, I'm on 3 acts before Johnny Resnick of Goo Goo Dolls, and then there's like a bunch of these legends building up to Bruce for this Light of Day Foundation. It's an ALS foundation. They're in their 25th year, and it's in Red Bank, New Jersey. And again, I'm just psyched to be on a bill of Bruce Springsteen and be part of the culture that they've built around confronting ALS. And Danny grabs me. He's like, "Have you met Bruce yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't. I watched Soundcheck. I did everything. I was just not intruding, you know." And then he grabs me, pulls me down this hallway, and he's like, "Bruce, I want you to meet my good friend Will Dailey. He's good friends with Eddie Vedder. He's great friends with your friend Joe Grishecki, who's another good friend of mine who came up with Bruce." And so already I'm in this like triangle of trust, you know? And so he was just immediately like, "Oh yeah," and we're just shooting the shit. And Danny then goes into this whole thing about he's like, "Will's a great songwriter," and he starts telling Bruce all about my songs. So I'm not saying anything. Danny Clinch is telling him about my songs, and he starts telling about the song "Mild Ride," which Danny sings on, and how I kind of wrote the song about Bruce and his father. And so it's just so heavy and beautiful and natural, and kind of just like, wow, a moment where I'm like, this not
that picture. He wanted that picture to come out right. He wanted Bruce to know. That's
exactly. And so I just turned, Danny's done with the effusive stuff, and I turn to Bruce and I go, and I just want to say, you've coped so well with being rock and roll's most underrated lead guitar player. And you could have been a real bitch about it and quit a long time ago, but you keep going, and one day you'll get your flowers, and we all have your back. That's what I said to him. So he starts cracking up. I think that's why he's still so happy in that picture, because we were laughing.
Awesome. That is amazing. People that might not know, Danny Clinch is like a kind of a famous photographer. I know him because, like you said, Bruce Springsteen, but Pearl Jam. He takes a lot of pictures of Eddie Vedder as well.
Yeah.
And Danny's also, like you said, he's on this new release that you have, right? You have the streaming release that we're talking about tonight, which is Boys Are Talking. And Danny Clinch is on there.
We are Boys Talking. The album is called Boys Talking.
Okay.
But boys are talking. But boys are talking.
I screwed it up, of course. But thank you. Yeah, we are talking. Yeah, anytime I screw anything up, you just make sure you correct me, because that's like a frequent thing. Usually I mute myself at least once a show. Like, there's all kinds of issues over here. But make sure you correct me. Don't be shy. So this new release, tell us about it. It's called Boys Talking, or the
Boys Talking. Boys Talking. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I recorded this in 2023. I released it like the end of 2023. I was working on it in 24. I released it in October of 24, but only physically. So you could get the vinyl, the tape cassette, the CD, or direct download. And I just wanted to do things differently to protect my songs and to protect my relationship with other people through song. Because what happens right now is we live in the tyranny of content. Hundreds of thousands of songs come out a day. And everybody in this chat, you and I, we all have sacred relationships with songs, but we are not treating them in a sacred way. And we could have the conversation about like, oh, blaming Spotify or streaming. I would first rather see if there's a better way and see if those platforms actually don't matter as much. If I instead prioritize people instead of platforms. And that's what I set out to do. So I toured for 18 months and I started in Europe and went all over, especially the Northeast, went to Toronto. We haven't gone to the Midwest yet with it and haven't gone to the West Coast yet. So a lot of the Northeast, East Coast, Canada, and Europe. And I just brought the album room to room, one show at a time, and let people know that if they buy it, like they have something that's just theirs. And that was 18 months of doing that. And the people who were buying it were selecting certain songs. So everyone would go onto this little thing on my website and vote for which songs we should kind of leak out onto the platforms over time, slowly. So everyone had a say in it. Everyone got to participate in it. Everyone got to let the songs live in their hearts. And then last week, we said, okay, the album's now out on Spotify. I did 18 months of putting people first. Now it's on platforms. So kind of prioritizing people, deprioritizing the platforms, but I don't have to give them the middle finger. I don't have to say they don't matter. I can just say it matters more to make sure that the songs take root in people's lives before they go into that abyss of all our content and kind of disappear in the black. And all I'm doing on a release day is asking people to click on it. Seems very disingenuous to all the passion of everyone who worked on the album, and very disingenuous to the role of music in our lives. And then one thing extra that we did is we left out one song that's on Boys Talking, and it's forever just lives on the physical copy, kind of like that old secret song that used to be on CDs. But just adding value to the people who took the journey and the people who want to buy it now. There's an extra song on the physical. And that's kind of been the journey with this album, Boys Talking. And the album also started with, it's so easy to make a record alone in a room, but I was like that. I got everyone in the room. The whole album was cut live. We overdubbed some guitar solos and some guests. And I just wanted people to know that this album starts with people in a room together and exists because of people in a room together.
That's the thing. When I've been following you, we get some questions too about when we met. We'll maybe answer that one in a minute. But like I've noticed you like Eddie Vedder, you like to play with people. Like you like to perform with people. Like you're a real musician. Like even when I saw your band the first time, I was like, wow, like these guys are real players. Like I expected like more like a pop thing, like because some of your music at first was kind of that like pop appeal. You could see it, but you're not just that. You're like a real musician, and you like to play music. Like even in these hot stove, cool music, you're always performing with different people, and that this new release seems like it's like even more so. Who are the people that are playing on this? I know Juliana Hatfield, Danny Clench, I mentioned. Who are some of the other players? I know some of the names. Tell us some of the
Yeah.
people that performed on this, and well, like which song. Tell us about the songs as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, on 95% of everything I made is my friend Dave Brophy, drummer, co-producer on this record and the last two albums. Just my musical partner, the person who I bring songs to, and if after all these years I can make Dave go, shit, all right, we got to record that one, then I'm on the right track, because he kind of heard everything from me. So Dave Brophy, another like sidekick for many years is James Rohr on the keys. We got a bunch of bass players: Joe McMahon, Jeremy Moses Curtis, and Jeff Sharlin plays upright bass on a track. Guitar extraordinaires everywhere. We have Kevin Barry, who plays with Jackson Brown. He plays with the Night Owls here in town, the White Owls. Plays with Duke Levine a lot, and Kevin came in and just did some magic. Cody Nielsen, who plays with GA20, and Andrew Stern on guitar. But yeah, I reached out I had this one song called Make Another Me that I knew I wanted to send to Juliana Hatfield. She's a hero of mine. She's a songwriting hero of mine. She's a friend, but I was still nervous to send it. Still nervous to ask her. And I remember we tracked the song. Like all these songs went down live, and for months I was waiting for a time to line up where she could come in and sing her part. And I was so freaked out the whole time. I was saying to Dave, I was like, man, this song did not come out how I wanted it. It's not right. She comes in, it's blah, blah, blah. But when she came in and she sang on, I was like, oh yeah, because we were waiting for that for her. Like the vision was with her. So of course, the whole time I'm just listening, like, what's missing? Like, I don't want her to come in and something's like missing on this track. Did we do this wrong? And as soon as she opened her mouth and sang with me, I was like, nope, that's because that was the vision. Lisa Amador, who is a phenomenal talent out of this bright and beautiful city that makes so many great talents and needs to work harder on keeping them here. She is still here, and she won the Tiny Desk concert. She does a duet with me on this song. And Danny Clinch. I mean, because I wrote this song, My Old Ride, about stories that he's one of my great friends. And we were talking about just I think the passing of his father, and then I ended up writing this song, so I had to have him sing on it. And then I used all this imagery in the song from his photos, and the song it was one of those songs too where I didn't think it would make it on the record, and because the album is recorded live, that meant for 10 days in a row I have all these musicians in the studio, and we're there from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and we get in at 10 a.m. and I start playing those songs. I didn't want them to know the songs ahead of time. I wanted to be the least talented person in the room. And I wanted to be a situation where I could play this band of people, marvelous people, the idea, and everyone reacts and this magic happens. And that's what Boys Talking is. It's everyone's reaction to the song I just played them a few hours earlier. And it's take 1 to 13 is what you're hearing. And I just thought, oh, I got this song I wrote about my friends and cars and missing his dad. And I thought I was going to show them like 5 songs. Like, no, we're doing that now. And they all insisted we do that song. And it turned out to be one of the bigger songs on the record. And I love when that kind of stuff happens because you can't see your own way. Like that's the beautiful thing about music and just any kind of community and having a band is, yeah, I'm a solo artist, but I kind of run my whole outfit like I am a band. Even when I'm out on the road solo, I'm still thinking like I have a band with me. Like we can't do anything alone. We can't even judge our own ideas alone. We need to process things with people. We need to, of course, process our emotions with people. We need to process our ideas, our concerns, our hopes, our dreams, and our song ideas. And we process them with other people. They go to new heights, and things come out that we didn't think but wouldn't have been possible alone. And we are in a design right now, and we are in a system where like, all right, you and I are here. This is great. This is a community. You've built a community here. I still think our time together would be heightened if we were in the same room. Of course it would be to some degree, right? But it's beautiful that we can have this. It's beautiful that we can have the technology to work on our connection and to work our connections with each other out. But we are in a system, whether it be politics, how art is distributed musically or through visuals, that isn't the healthiest for the development of us. So we have a loneliness epidemic. We have a hopelessness epidemic. We have so many epidemics, and I believe because of because what these systems atrophy in the truth of being human.
The way things
And
have changed. Yeah.
yeah,
Like social media in itself is just so negative and toxic. It compares you to everybody else. It's like it just makes us singular, and it does. And even like I look at the music community, like from when I knew you till now. Like we don't
hmm
have BCN anymore. We don't have AF.
right,
We don't have FNX. We don't have the Boston Phoenix. We don't even have the Weekly Dig anymore. We have none of
right.
these places where people kind of came together, this community. Like it just different. I mean, the only thing we have left is like the clubs, is like if they're still, the ones that are still kicking. But like
Right.
if we didn't have live music, like music would be totally gone in my eyes. I know some people make it big on YouTube and with Spotify and all this, but it's just not the same. How do
It's
you,
not the same. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, how do you deal? Because I could see that this I've been thinking a lot about this stuff too. Like what you're talking about, you can tell you're thinking about it. Like how did this experiment go? Like Detention's an artist. He's a DJ as well. He's on WBZ radio actually. He says in theory, physical media should be the way to go, but people simply don't buy music anymore. Uh, there might be some exceptions. Like how did it go with you? Because you were kind of going against the tide on this one, where you put the music out first, CD.
Hmm.
You go through the people, but there's not that kind of BCN, FNX, nothing to really promote it. Like you have to promote that yourself on social media or through shows. How did that work out for you? Like in terms of kind of bucking the system and going right to the people instead of going to Spotify first.
Yeah, I mean, you look. We could do a 6-part series on this very issue, right? Um, and I'm seeing a lot of comments. First of all, uh, yeah, someone's saying the best music I heard growing up was played at college stations that don't run anymore. Um, how did it work out kind of going against the system? Well, this started out for me, this kind of methodology started out because in 2018 and 19, I had an album come out and I did it the traditional way. And I've always like had vinyl and CDs and I've always sold. And I'm a road warrior and I'm on the road, and you have to sell physical media, you have to be on the road consistently. And or in a really niche genre and at the top of a niche genre. But I'm a songwriter, and to your point, like someone might hear a song of mine and think like, oh, that's really poppy. Someone might hear it really folky. Oh, that's really like weird and indie and quirky. And I'm just kind of like, if we talk about Pearl Jam, if you grew up with verses, you're like, oh, I can have a folk song and a punk rock song right after each other. And that's how I grew up thinking music should be, is that you make whatever you need to make authentically. And it's really hard to fit into an algorithmic world when you create that way. So if I have success with a folk song in an algorithmic world, I tank right after. And my album in 2018, 19, as an independent label and an independent artist, I just was so depressed when it came out. And then I, take the pandemic out of it and everything you lose as an independent and small business with your momentum. Since that time, I just carefully studied all my peers and even the large ones, and how lost they would be from birthing this thing out of their collective or themselves, and not having it not sell well or anything like that or get streams, but connect. Find time in hearts and minds. And so pretty much right after the release of that last one, I was like, fuck this, man. I'm not doing another record this way. Why am I obeying systems? Like I got into this life called me because of my skepticism of authority and systems. And I've always been skeptical of authority and systems since I was a child. Like even my parents, I'm like, well, something's up with these two, And that's like why I feel so comfortable fighting for my practice as an artist. And so I knew right away that I'd be doing this. In 2021, me and Dave Brophy, my drummer, when you could kind of be in the room together in tight quarters with masks on or something like that, I said, we're all so messed up and traumatized from this episode. Let's go into the studio. I have this new song. It's like I have this big canvas I want to paint on. Let's go work with someone I've never worked with before. We went to Cape Cod and worked with a guy named John Evans, who's Tori Amos's bass player and music director. And the three of us made this song. The song came out to be about 6 minutes and 45 seconds. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to put this into the abyss of all our content and ask people to share it and listen to it. It was a minute and a half before my vocal came in. My own mother would have been like, yeah, I heard it. And then a text message pops up on your phone. Just think about that. Like we did this therapeutic practice. Yeah, I mean, we did this therapeutic practice for this. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And so am I.
Yeah, we all are.
And I thought, why would I subject my song to this? And why would I put you through a process that I know you're bound to fail at? And call myself a compassionate person, call myself a thoughtful artist. Why are the artists letting their creativity stop when they're done recording or they walk off stage, and then we obey a system like an algorithm? it's like oddly embarrassing, right? To be like, I am a free thinker and an artist, and what I have to say is unique, and I think it should spend time in your heart and mind. And here I am in that little square in your palm of your hand, lip syncing and dancing 18 different ways to the song or whatever it is. And look, we're all just trying to figure out how to do this. So it's not a fault of anybody. But we have allowed our creativity to be dictated when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And I decided with that song, I was like, fuck it. I had a tour with the Wallflowers. So I was going through a lot of New England in the Midwest in 2022 with them. And I thought, I can do whatever I want because I also am not the Wallflowers and I'm not Eddie Vedder. So no one's going to say, actually, my manager was upset that I didn't want to release the song. But I said, look, this song is going to live forever on my merch table as the $10 song project. So the $10 song project is the song that we recorded. And the song's called Cover of Clouds. And people since 2022 can go up to our merch table. There's a portable CD player, studio headphones, like this nice kind of headphones. They pay $10 to listen to the song one time in their life. That's not on a record. It's never going to come out. Doesn't exist anywhere in our digital world. And I'll never play it live. It's an installation at my merch table. And there's a black book that travels with it, and people can write in the black book or draw on it while they're listening. And what happens to us when we decide to listen? We pay $10 and we listen to something one time in our lives. And it's been such
how many people did that? How many people? Because that's like an investment. If you're paying $10,
yeah,
you're gonna fucking listen to that song.
And that is and so I'm talking to some. Here's the thing, Mike. Like I'm talking to museums now about the song being installation in museums.
Wow.
Because the $10 resets your mind and your attention to what listening is. So I've had profound experiences. I've had complete life-affirming experiences from one song that is impossible for you to listen to right now.
I love it. It gives it an aura. It gives it,
yeah. I would say 200.
I have to go to your show to listen to that. I have to go. That's like awesome.
And I'd say 300 to 500 people have heard it. That's it.
Wow, that's amazing. So 300 to 500 have paid the $10. You know, because we have a lot of YouTubers that watch the show too, because you know that's where we're at. That's where we're most popular, and we all run into the same issue. Like my show, like if I cover certain stories, certain cases, certain topics, Karen Reed, I get the views. If I do something else like this that I'm interested in, it's not the same. The algorithm doesn't know what to do with tonight's show. Even though it looks like our numbers are going out throughout the show so people like it, but like, what do you do?
We got to push. We got to push the Vedder and the Springsteen angle. That's what we got to do. We push Vedder. We're one degree to Eddie Vedder, but it's and that's the thing. We have to fight for our value because the system is designed to devalue all of us. And by participating in the system and not saying like, we're talking about numbers right now, but look, certain things have gone by here, and I just want to address a couple of them. Somebody shared that when we were talking about ALS, was it Mia?
Yes, I'm pretty sure we've had a few comments on ALS tonight. I could probably find that one. And that's one of our mods. Yes. What did Mia say?
Is it her mother was suffering from ALS or someone in her family? I'm scrolling real quick.
Looking for it too.
Anyway, ALS is horrible. Said Kane is able. Yes. Kane is able. My brother passed from it, 39 years old, tragic. Now, I always want to stop there and recognize Kane for sharing that. Because what happens is we end up talking about numbers, but we have somebody sharing something very important. And Mia, mom's passed from ALS. And right now we have everything in this conversation right here. We have people recognizing their pain, thinking about who they lost, recognizing that life goes on and there's somebody out there like that event that I'm playing in Chicago, in New Jersey, still fighting and still thinking of people like Kane's brother, Mia's mother. And we are being dictated to by a system that's saying, that we don't have enough right now, maybe numbers. And that is what we're fighting against all the time. We have everything we need right now, and we are enough for each other in small numbers, medium numbers, large numbers.
Love it.
And we have all our humanity between each other. And that's not to bring it back to like my career, but like with the $10 song project, I'm like, I can go as small as you can fucking imagine right now and bring more power than 10 million spins, which is worthless in the story of humanity. It's unoriginal. It means nothing. So we have to have an open, constantly keep the conversation open about what our value is, not just monetarily or any other metrics, but our value to each other. So to be in a conversation tonight with you, who we have known of each other, never really sat down this long together. We've talked and been friendly and gotten along over the years. To be in a conversation with Mia and Kane right now and know that their scene is immensely powerful platform that you've created and that I have the privilege of participating in. Terry, her aunt at 50. Look what we have here.
Nice lady. She's a nice lady too. I really like Terry. All of our people in our chat. That's what keeps me going too. Like even when we have the, like I said, the lower numbers, I like who's here. Like that's the thing.
Right.
We have some of the best ladies here. We have a lot of women who watch the show, and that's what I was excited for. Me, like there's these other creators, YouTubers that talk about numbers a lot, and for me, it's like I was just excited to have you on. I was a little nervous actually. Because I'm not used to having musicians on the show, even though like I used to book bands and music, and my girls was in music. I'm not a music guy. I'm more like a politics and talking heads. I'm better with a lawyer. I talking to lawyers and politicians is like easier for me. And having like a real music guy on and somebody that gets art and all that. It's not, like I'm not an artist. I'm not a musician. I'm just a fan. I'm in awe of what you do, Will. And same thing with Eddie Vedder and all those other folks, all the music that I've seen over the years. So for me, this is fun. That's why I wanted to do tonight. Just like you said, it's more about the connection. Like you said, like we've known each other for how many years, and to have a conversation with Will Dailey, it's kind of fucking cool. Like somebody asked tonight, how did we meet? Do you remember when we met? I think it was because of Carmelita, listening to music on her show. But I
Yeah.
remember hitting you up to say, hey, can you play the Freedom Rally? And you were like, no, I can't. I'm playing Farm Aid. And I was like, what about the night before? We were doing a mass can benefit show, and you came down, and like I wanted you as the headliner, and you were like, can I open up because I'm gonna go hang out with John Mellencamp next? Like I was like, what? Like you left our show to go freaking hang out with John Mellencamp, which I was like, this guy's unbelievable. Like you performed. Your fucking performance was the best opening thing for the Freedom Rally ever. Like you were so
Oh,
fucking good.
thank you.
Do you
Thank you.
remember how we met? I also remember you were a DJ too on Radio
I was.
Boston. Remember that?
I
Remember that
was.
radio station?
I
Yeah.
know I've been living life a long time, so I'm a present and tomorrow thinker, so I have a hard time remembering yesterday. And I do. You're getting a lot of love in the chat, which I love. And dude, Mellencamp is fire. Do I remember? No, I feel like proximity to Boston Music Awards, Carm, and like actually like think you were in the studio a couple times when I went to see Carm
Maybe.
at the
I'm
studio.
not because I usually didn't go. I usually kept my distance from her, like her show. I didn't want to be one of those dudes like her boyfriend before, whoever. Some other people tried to like take advantage of her show and shit. So I was always like, the only time I would show up is if it was a blizzard. I would drive her when there was a blizzard because no one else would be there, and I'd just be her driver. Sometimes I come in with her, so maybe who knows, but. I definitely remember the BMAs. I remember seeing you perform at the BMAs too. You performed there one year, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple times. Like when it's back at the Liberty Hotel. Yeah.
That's where it was. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that
those are good
specifically.
times because it's just a massive party in every room. You can just like jump around every room. Those are really fun ones. Um, but like people are sharing a lot of important things in the chat, and uh, I also yes, Tracy. Tracy just said a beautiful thing. And Mia as well, and somebody else. Yeah, Tracy's friend died in 2022 from ALS. I mean, geez, look at all these people who've been touched by this. and just all of us being touched by grief at all times. We forget that we're going about our lives and we're measuring all these metrics of life when so many of us are just coping with grief. And that's actually how this album started for me, was grief, because I'd lost a friend to suicide and another one to cancer. And it hit me that this would be the first thing I made. And they were the two friends. One was like my Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the other one was like my fake older brother. And they were the ones who, if I made a project, they would have written me a dissertation the morning it came out, and it hit me that this would be the first thing I made that they didn't hear. And it messed me up a little bit. And that also drove, like, I'm not going to dump it into the abyss and have some release date that flies by and the tyranny of all our content. And like I say, hey, everyone, my album's out today, and something crazy happens in the world that's so sickening. And I got to be like, but check out my record. I was like, I'm going to stretch out time and not have it be about like a single impact date that'll just get piled on by all the other stuff. But it's also about this album is about processing grief, and something if we're lucky, we all have to do. And
It's a fact. That's a fact. If you love people and you're lucky,
yeah,
that's going to happen.
You're going to have a lot of grief, and it has to turn into your superpower. It has to turn into the thing that blossoms more of you into the world. And I was just rocketed back into that thought of the album and its origins and how we sat down, because to record it that way, and why I had to start it with people in the room, and why I had to release it this way, because I had to put people first, and I had to slow it down like grief, because grief starts off as something you can't possibly navigate, to this new phantom limb that you never even knew was going to be a phantom limb that you have to learn how to walk in a new way. And then if you keep working at it, it becomes a power that you have. And people are sharing anniversaries here, and they're kind of what I hope is leaning into that power. And someone said, passing this year, I'll pay something forward in her memory, is what Mia said. And that's it. And that's what this record is like, how do I pay this forward in the memory of my friends who are my mentors? And like, I know I can pay it forward by slowing things down and prioritizing my time with other people and the relationship that these songs can have with them. And that's the $10 song started that, and it went into the boys talking. And it's something I know I can control in this world that seems out of control. It's something I can contribute in a time when it feels like everything is out of our hands and we don't have any say, and the worst people in the world are in charge of the world right now. I feel like music is a gateway to the most ancient parts of us. Like, I like to skip over the 20th century. Everyone's like, well, we used to buy physical media and we used to have all this shit. I was like, that's a blip. That's called the Renaissance. But music's been with us since day one. We had hunting, gathering, cooking, sex, and music. And like, some people went out and hunted a woolly mammoth. Some people gathered some herbs. Some people prepped the hearth. And then there was like these really weirdo people who took the bones of the woolly mammoth and were like playing beats with it on rocks. And they're all like, what's up with that dude? Like, he's really weird. But when they're all sitting around the fire at the end of the night, chomping on the woolly mammoth, they're like, you know what? That's a pretty cool beat.
Yeah, even before amplification, that was it. And it's amazing too. I love what you're saying tonight. I love your message with this release, because I think for the YouTubers out there and people like me, it hits home. It hits home, because I've been thinking a lot about this stuff too after the last couple of years. Like, my greatest success ever. People are like, "Oh my God," but they expect, like, it's weird. It gets very weird on these platforms. I'll just say that. And there's so much power that they have. And like you said, it can be very easy to get depressed about what's going on out there, at the top. Like, it's so crazy what's going on right now. I'm just like freaked out, like daily, especially with this new stuff with this Iran, and I'm just the oil, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy. How do you keep sane? Like, because like you said, like, I don't think people realize that. I do, because I was around Carmelita and I booked a lot of bands back in the day. I know how crazy. I even look at like waitress and waiters. Like, that nightlife is a hard life for people when they're, WWE wrestlers, traveling, rock stars. It's not as easy as you think. There's a reason why a lot of rock stars die young, even the ones who have big success. That kind of life is not easy, especially putting yourself out there with the audience. How do you cope? How do you cope? What is your suggestion for other artists, creative people out there that are watching, listening?
Um, it can be confusing, I think, music for people in the past, 15, 20 years, 15, 10, 10 especially, where, look, you can get a computer, make a record, put it out yourself, and start a social media thing, get a little niche in social media, and you might have a musical presence. Prior to that, you needed to have some sort of funding to go into a studio and with adequate engineers and cut something. And yes, there's punk rock and like Guided by Voices type bands that did all kinds of things, and there's always uh, a different example. I can't even think of the word right now. I'm trying to think of, but it's the evening. But it became so, yeah, DIY, but it became so easy to do. So it's a saturated market. And so there's a lot of people who are saying, man, this is really hard. But back in the day, and even before my day, like, there's no doing it if you didn't get out on the road. And for whatever reason, I have a love-hate with the road. Like, I can't do like 3 months in a row, but I always need to have shows. Like, I need to have shows every month. And I need to, like, 2 weeks, boom, hit it, go, quit it, come back, check in with my people. Like, I need to keep my people close by. I can't be away from them for too long. Because also that's like, if that's your power, then that's your source of music too. That's your source of artistry. And like, you have to be aware of that, where it comes from. And some people are great at being creative because their road warriorness is their creativity. For me, it's just I need a balance. But I'm always just replenished by being in a room of 5 to 5,000 people. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it never phases me that one matters more than the other. So people like, oh, we just have a little party for you to play. It has 20 people at it. We can pay you this. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good to me. I'm there. I do like 25 house concerts, 30 house concerts a year. And those are the best things ever. And they range from 20 to like 150 people, depending on how organized these people are and what they do. But they're always magnificent. To then, rock clubs and playing the Paradise and playing festivals and stuff like that. It's always just kind of touching into that ancient DNA of how important music is in our life, and remembering that, like, you just have to find that source of honesty. You don't have to be virtuosos are great, but only virtuosos that are touching in on honesty and clarity and pulling at something here and here. So as long as I'm finding my way to those places, I'm replenished to cope with what's going on right now. Because one thing I think what happens is, if you're looking at the rectangle in your hand at all the horrors, it knows not that you like something or follow something. It knows if you pause. It knows if you pause, you bring it down. It's just farming all our data and feeding you things. My wife just broke her foot. Like, do you know how many things the algorithm is feeding me about broken feet? And how horrifying that is? But I also train the algorithm to think like I only care about squirrels. And that's like fun. And you just try to throw it off. But if you only have that rectangle in your hand and it's feeding you, and it knows that feeding you the horror keeps you hooked in, the benefit of being on the road, the benefit of being like a trench warfare artist and getting out there and playing, someone's living room and playing with Eddie Vedder, is I'm seeing all the majesty of our world at work. and I'm running into people who are working on ALS. I'm running into people who are like, I just started a garden because I just want to be in touch with the earth. And it's profound how much those kind of steps matter right now, to make sure that you're doing something to move humanity forward, and that's why, like, I can't control every aspect of a fascist movement right now. And thinking I could is a part of what fascism does to you. But I can control how. What'd you say?
Keep my eyes on that kind of pushback, and you getting like so hooked into the phone thing, and
Yeah.
no,
But I can't
it's
control, like, how I share my music matters to humanity, and how that, like, just that little tiny seed might change in the darkness later on.
Someone said gardening is music to nature. That's the thing. I love music and I love
Boom.
gardening. It's so funny. I just got my seeds. I got a bunch of garden
There you
seeds.
go.
I got some cannabis seed. I got every type of seed coming. But and I love music too, even though I'm not a musician. I wish I was, but I'm just not musical. I'm just a big fan of it. It's kind of like my bass line. It always gets me, like, just that's the place I go to if I'm having any issues. I love to listen to music. You have some shows upcoming. You mentioned performing out. I know that you're playing at the Paradise, and it's another hot stove cool music.
Yeah.
That's like the Peter Gammons
Peter
musical
Gammons,
fest
the
that they
ups,
do.
yeah. Yeah, it's fun. And it's we raise money for all kinds of programs throughout Greater Boston that are music and sports related. They've been doing it for like 25, 26, 27 years. Um, I'm playing in Falmouth April 3rd at Dailey Brew, a new club down there. It looks really cool. I think if like at willdailey.com, if you spell Daily Dailey, like it is right there. I think it is right there. Um, we're adding shows every day. I think we'll have more of a tour announcement, but I'm playing Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I don't have the dates. I don't have the dates at the top of my head, but I
That's all
know
right.
Falmouth, April 3rd.
Yeah.
April 1st, I'm in New York City. And I'll spend a lot of this year just touring the record and talking about the why and the methodology. And I'll also, I'm recording all the time. If I could, I'd put out a record every 12 months, but it's just too hard because I have to go out and I have to sell like 2,000 physical copies to kind of make the business work. And then play 150, 200 shows. And I like doing all that too. So, but I am working on the next one, and I'd love to put that out in 27.
Awesome.
And it's more
So
of like a punk rock one. Yeah.
it is. Like, that's the thing. I know you change it up all the time. You do what you want versus
Do what I want. Yeah.
worrying about trends. That's like, I think that's the key a lot too, because does it keep you interested more in doing what you want versus what people expect from you? Like, that's how I feel about the content I do anyways. Willdailey.com is the website. We have it in the chat. There's a bunch of social media. You have a YouTube. We've also posted that tonight. Where are the other? Because I know you're on
I'm probably most
Spotify,
active.
iTunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't. If people listen to me on Spotify, that's great because and just know, like, I prioritize being there. Like, I think it's clear now. Like, I'll be there. I'll be on Spotify, but I prioritize us being together more and getting vinyl records and CDs and adding value to that experience for people, like to sitting down and listening. And we go to great lengths when we press our vinyl. I work with like the most scientific, nerdiest vinyl people in the world, and they're wonderful. And just try to add value into every experience I can. Let's see. All right, someone's leaving. Someone had to leave. Sheila, thanks for hanging out. Laura said, Will, you said Warren Zevon is an artist you'd cover at every show if you could. If you had to pick one Warren Zevon lyric that sums up your outlook on the music industry right now, what would it be? Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Get me out of this, Dad.
That's a hit.
Get me out of this. But I love all of Warren's tunes, and I think he's worthy of just constant revisiting. And I gravitate towards those left to center kind of artists who look, there's a time Warren Zevon could not get a gig, and that's when someone put him in my life as a young person, and I just have so much love, and I have so many peers that I just look up to, and like I play with this guy named Joe Grishecki, and he plays with Bruce all the time, but that's who Bruce Springsteen goes to check his authenticity with. So I often go to Pittsburgh and Jersey and play with Joe Grishecki and the House Rockers, and friends with the whole band. And his son Johnny and I are close friends. And Johnny manages Joe, and but Joe's just like the real deal. Like it's easy to keep going when you have mailbox money hits coming in, and I've played with, and I love all these artists, and they are guiding lights to me forever and to this day. But there's something about the people who is like, you don't have that hit and they've kept going. And when you get into their catalog, you're like, holy shit, how come nobody told me about this person? Or it takes time to sit. You have to sit and break bread with them to really understand their messaging. And when you do, it's so heavy and profound. I love those kind of artists. Warren he's heavily recognized, and he had a hit song and all that, but he definitely struggled in the late 80s and the 90s. And, and sadly, when people leave us the way Warren left us, through suffering and everything, then our awareness of the person comes up, sadly, and especially with art. We have yet to find out how to communicate the importance of someone's art without death being a factor.
No, it's not stink. It's
Yeah.
That's life too. We miss people so much more when they're gone, and we realize how much they meant to us. It's like that's why you have to just make sure that you tell that person what they mean to you. Like just that's the saddest thing. Um,
Well, but that's it also goes to like we were talking about tonight. It's just being here with the people that we are here on this chat, and making sure everyone's seen, and that you and I have this time for the first time, and how powerful that can be, and where it takes us from here. We don't even know,
blessing,
but
blessing.
it is, and it's hard to be present, and it's easier to be present with other people. Because as soon as I'm done, as soon as I click this off tonight, I'm like, shit, what didn't I get done today? And oh my God, I suck. And did I say something in that was stupid? That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It does
to all of us, but it happens less when we're together and we're present together. And that's why, like, I keep doing music despite
the heartaches of it. Yeah,
and its difficulties. Yeah.
We get a few more comments. Like this one, can you
What
imagine
else?
what Prince would be saying today? I mean,
Yeah,
he just
I know. And would we find a way to love him? Like, that's the thing.
that's true.
What if Carlos Santana passed away in the 70s, and Jimi Hendrix was the one who went through the 80s with a chorus pedal and doing like pop songs and guesting on Michael Jackson's records? Like, will we just have a different, it's just very strange the way, that Jeff Buckley documentary came out, and I saw Jeff Buckley at Mamakin. My stepfather won tickets on the radio on BCN, and me and my girlfriend drove into Boston, got really, really too high, and I saw Jeff Buckley with like 100 people in Mamakin. And I remember when he passed, like, so I was like in with him from the get, right? And I remember when he's passed, I was devastated. It's like, no one even knows who this guy is. Barely they were playing his songs on the radio, and now he's a legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
One of my friends, do you know? Remember Audrey from the 360s?
I don't.
No, she signed to a major label back in the day. Her I don't know the full story, but apparently Jeff Buckley's girlfriend stole her song, but it was copyrighted. And Jeff Buckley performed it thinking it was his girlfriend's song, but the girlfriend had lied. And so when Jeff Buckley found out, he made it right. And so she still gets royalty checks from Jeff Buckley. And like that was her like biggest thing ever. She ended up writing a song for Jeff Buckley, and Jeff Buckley didn't know it was hers. And then later on, it's all credited. Now she gets, so it's an amazing
and that's
situation.
it. Shannon's daughter is playing Jeff Buckley on the guitar all day today.
Who's Janet is?
Shannon's daughter.
Oh, Shannon daughter. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, Prince, I mean, look, that's another thing about this business. Prince didn't have anyone in his life because at some point you're surrounded by people who are making money off you. Even the people who love you are making money off you. People who work for you, they're all making money off you. And if they say, hey man, you got a problem right now, and we all might need to stop working and making money for you just to take care of yourself. It's hard for that. Not that anyone's nefarious in there. I don't know the situation, but time and time again, you see that with when the artist is the product of such a high degree, so much income, and has multiple people employing them. So rarely will someone say, hey man, like you shouldn't be taking this, or you need to fucking stop smoking, or whatever it is. Because that would be like they're out of the job, or that person could get mad at them for telling them what to do, even though you're giving them love and you're prioritizing them. And then they're dead. And guess what happens when they're dead? Everyone's making more money. Everyone's making more money.
About the music industry, you make more money off the person.
Yeah,
if they're dead.
And the artist who thinks they're in control, and like Prince's Vault, it's like, I'm not doing syncs. I'm not giving my songs and movies and TV. Well, once you're dead and you didn't have a good will, which I don't think he did. I know Tom Petty did not have a will at all. It's all out the window. All your control and all your visions for your art are out the window. Yeah, it happened with Britney Spears. There's a song on Boys Talking that I wrote about Britney Spears. Well, about wow. I like it was the inspiration for it, because I listened to the audiobook, Michelle Williams reading the audiobook on the road, and I reassessed my judgment of her. And it's a song called Sometimes the Night. And for me, it's about a lot of things, of course, but like I started with just imagining Britney Spears in rehab in the middle of the night, finally free of all these people. Yeah, it happened to Britney in a big way. And I'm reading that or listening to that audiobook kind of, because I didn't pay attention to Britney Spears. So I was like, oh, I was too cool. I was, 18 years old. I'm not going to listen to Britney Spears. I'm listening to punk rock and indie music. So
here's a question. Are you a Swiftie? Do you like Swiftie? Do you like Taylor Swift?
Well, I better not say anything either way, right? I mean, I better say I am. That's my answer. If I wasn't, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it.
Smart man.
I'll tell you this.
Eddie takes
Taylor
his daughter to
Swift. I'll tell you, I have a young daughter who's into a ton of pop music, and she's not into Taylor Swift. Doesn't hate her by any means, but that's not one of her favorites. Taylor Swift. What I was on Universal Records at the same time as her, and I heard stories of that. She would go in, and when her album's coming out, she would go in with the interns and pack stuff envelopes for her, like the media sense and stuff like that. She's the hardest working person, I think, in popular music, and I don't think she can be outworked. And I understand that. I'm influenced by that, by her, because I know when I get in situations where I know I can outwork somebody.
Work matters, doesn't it? Like that's the big thing that's kind of discounted a lot in society. Hard working, like, and not just hard work for like a month, but hard work over years. I'd say
forever,
decades.
It is kind of forever. And that's why I think I have so much respect for the troubadours and the trench warfare musicians and the lifers. Like my friends in Local H, the band Local H, Scott Lucas, like they're just an incredible band, incredible artists, incredible visions, songs and sound. And they have success and they're great. But they're real. They're just real, and they're in it. And those are like my real barometers for hard work and vision. And yeah, like you don't get in this if you don't want to drive 5 hours for the rest of your life. And I don't mean because, but you're going to make it. You're still going to have to drive the 5 hours. You still have to get on the plane for 12 hours to get around the other side of the world. Yeah, there's no way around it. being successful in the arts is not a gateway to an easier life. It's only a gateway to clarity for your life if you're in it for the right reasons.
Oh, that's why I like YouTube actually, because I don't like to travel. It's like, but I keep feeling like what you're saying though is a message to me that I need to get out of the basement more and meet the people in person more,
Why don't
which I've
you?
been
Why
resisting.
why aren't we having this conversation in person at some bar that hosts it and we have a live audience?
We
Look,
should.
would everyone like us to do
We
this with a
should.
live audience and then I play 2 or 3
We should.
songs? You
I would
know,
love that. We should do that. We should someone if especially if there's any clubs or people listening that can make that happen, hit us up.
Will, how is performing with Dave Matthews? Wonderful. He's actually like, I love that guy. He's super down to earth, super approachable. Like the first like A-lister person I met that was just so kind, and I've met many who aren't, and worked with many who are just shy or have their own stuff going on. But he's like super approachable, but like hilarious, just hilarious and silly and weird in all the right ways. Yeah. But see, everyone's like, that would be boss. OMFG, do it. Yes, fire emoji 7 times over. Oh my God, yes, do it, absolutely. I mean, just the amount of emojis we're getting on the idea. And then here's like, people are like, oh, do you not want followers? I'm like, no, followers are great, but like I run my whole label off having people like in our own database, because what happens is YouTube, if they control your access to the people who want to be in your community, they can turn off that access whenever they want. And
That's that I
thankfully,
worry about. Yep.
when I talk to younger artists, I'm like, let me tell you about the legend of MySpace, because I had millions of followers and millions of spins on MySpace, all gone, all gone. And I'll never let that happen again. And so I just control, in doing a record this way, like Boys Talking, and doing 18 months of touring and having direct sales, and me and my manager going to the UPS once a day, sometimes with 1 record, sometimes with 10. Like, that's from us. There's no third party giant corporation that can end my career tomorrow. But they can end the career
Beautiful
of
thing.
bigger artists right now.
That's a beautiful thing. That is something to be very thankful for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things to be thankful for. It's how you look at it, really. And that you're still doing music. I mean, that's a big thing that there's an audience for it. People want to listen to it. People want to listen. Like Sarah's telling me she wants to hear the song. She wants to go check out the song in
Which
person.
one? Oh,
The
the
headphone
Britney's.
song. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Right. I
yeah.
mean, and
The $10 secret
you're right.
song.
Creates intrigue, sure. But here's the thing: like, we have allowed time to be removed from as a value metric in our lives. So everything's just a metric of the follow, the likes, are they watching, instead of all the music about everyone in this chat. You remember riding around in a car with a friend and they put on a song by a band you didn't really know, you probably wouldn't have liked without that friend, and that friend puts it on, displaying their passion for the song, and all of a sudden you love that song. It's the friend, and it's the time in the car together. And we've removed all of that. We've removed the one-on-one, the connection with the other person, and we removed the time that art needs to take root in our lives. And that's what I'm fighting against too when I'm releasing stuff this way. So by putting $10 down to listen to a song one time in your life, when I first started doing it in 2022, I was in Philly playing, and this guy came to the show, and he was a super fan of mine, and he was there like ready to listen to the song, and he had a date, and the date was like, all right, I'm hearing you for the first time tonight. You played me on the way here. I was into it. It was cool. Your show was great. I loved it. And she's like, I'll do the $10 song. When afterwards, she was like, oh shit, I don't think I've been listening to music for about 15 years because I paid you $10. So already I was like, told my date not to bother me. I put my phone away. And while I'm listening, I thought, this is it. So I didn't ask myself what genre it was or what it reminded me of. I just listened. And so she didn't have much to say about the song. She had more to say about the song the experience and the time perspective it gave to her. And I've had fans be like, fuck you, this is your best song. My manager was so upset. And I got, no, but you probably think this is a great song because of the context. And not that I think the song's good or bad or anything, but context drives so much, like your friend in the car. And we've removed all that from our lives. We haven't removed it. We've allowed it to be stolen from us. And I think there's people in this chat and they'll say their kid's playing them a song in the car. And they're connecting to it because their kid is sharing their enthusiasm with them. And that, whereas the time still lives. And so that's what I'm trying to protect or reinstate or keep from being stolen from us in my practice.
I love this perspective you're bringing to a lot of us tonight. It's a great conversation. Renee has another question about celebrities. Did you meet Willie Nelson too at Farm Aid?
Oh yeah. So my first time I played Farm Aid 4 times. The first time, and I'm still close to the whole organization and everything. The first time, I can't believe it that I'm on the bill with all these people. And after the show, Willie Nelson's last song, we all get to go out on stage and sing with him. I get my own mic, and I'm just singing with Willie Nelson. And afterwards, there was that big kind of, probably wasn't an LED screen, is the big curtain, and there's cans, there's lights on the floor from behind it and in front, and there's fog. And I walk off stage after Willie played, and I go around back behind the curtain. It's like, oh man, that was incredible. And I just see coming down through the fog from the other side, Willie Nelson. And I'm like, I just was on stage singing with this guy, and he's coming. He's like, and he comes up, and I don't think I met him other than there's a press junket in the morning, and we're all on stage together. But he comes like out of the fog, backlit from all these lights, just the most majestic, beautiful thing. He says, Will, it said my name. He said, thanks so much for doing this and being part of the day. It meant so much. Thank you. Thanks for giving us your song, your music, and your time. Oh, thank you, Willie. Big hug. I was like, holy shit. Wow. And then next year I'm playing Farm Aid. Director of Farm Aid is like, let's go say hi to Willie on the bus. I was like, all right, it's great. He's, he knew my name right when he got off stage, and he's going to be so excited to see me again. Go on the bus. Willie Nelson bus, big cloud, go in. And I'm like, hi. He's like, hi, I'm Willie. And I'm like, I'm Will. That's how it is. And man, I'm the same way. Like I can't, in the moment, you remember people, and also it's Willie Nelson's bus. He's probably stoned out of his mind. And that's just always so funny to me.
It's funny because I mean, you like we're only supposed to remember like 50 people in our village, like in
that's
today's
it.
day and age, like artists like you were expected to remember thousands of people that you meet over the years. I have this issue too. I met Peter Wolf one time, and when I got introduced to Peter, I was so excited because I grew up on his music. It was like the first
Mm-hmm.
music we had with the boombox and all that freeze frame, and he says to me, Mike, it's great to meet you, but don't get mad at me if I don't remember your name later. And I said, Peter, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't expect you to remember me. I remember you because of your music when I was a kid. And that I thought that was funny because
Wolf
I mean,
is, yeah. There's only one Wolf.
Wolf, have you met him? He's cool.
Oh yeah,
He's something.
I've met. I was
He
just with him the
adores.
other night at Van Morrison. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So no, it's funny. I'm glad he said that to me because it put him in perspective. Like he must have had people get mad at him, like that don't remember his name, that he doesn't remember the name and stuff, and because he's out there, he's always like you always see him around Somerville, and I've seen him in
I
public many times. He's a
I tell
man
my
of the
mother.
people.
I tell my mother, if you come up to me at a show, you better introduce yourself because I won't know. Just because I'm just like after a show and I'm meeting people like you're just in a different headspace. You can't process things, and names and stuff. And if I always reintroduce myself to everyone in public. Just
We
stuff.
haven't played your music tonight. I feel like it's appropriate that we play some of your new music tonight on the show. There's a video that you put out, and this is the song with Juliana Hatfield.
Oh
There's
yeah, yeah.
yes. That's the. Do you
Hatfield.
want to end the song, end the show on that? I also like. I found you performing with Eddie Vedder. It looks like Better Man too. So I think I'm gonna play a little music
Shit.
tonight to kind of end the show. We'll play
Awesome.
both your new music and the cover with Eddie Vedder. Um, I'll ask the chat. What do they want to hear first? Do you want to hear Will's new music, or do you want to see the Eddie Vedder compilation before that? Which one do we play first? Um, but you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up? Anything else you want to share? Any shows you want to promote? The shows you do have a YouTube. I made sure people have that. They were asking for it in the chat. You also have the website. On the website, people, there's a place you can subscribe, like email. You can sign up via email, so you're always hooked up with Will when he's playing shows, releasing music. Anything else you want to say or promote before we wrap it up, Will Dailey tonight?
Um, no, I mean you can follow me whatever you want to follow. I probably check Instagram and Facebook and YouTube the most. And um, yeah, if you're in Falmouth area, come to the Daily Brew on April 3rd. And this was lovely. I'll come do it anytime. We can talk art, ethics, politics, whatever you want. This has been good.
I love it. And
And I
sometimes we
just
have
love all the people, man. I just love all the
yeah.
sharing. So thanks to everybody for sharing.
I love it. We can sometimes we do panels too. Sometimes I like have FBI agents on and politicians and I think it would be good to have like an artist on some of those panels that we
You
do
there
sometimes.
should be
I
an
think it'd be good.
artist. There should be an
Yeah,
artist in every aspect of society. You
I
know,
agree.
your job is like creative solutions. It's so bizarre. So bizarre. Everyone has to be a lawyer to lead the nation. This nation, anyways.
I
So,
know. It's a
and I
fact.
don't know. They just don't seem to be doing a really good job.
I've always been drawn to artists. I always feel like I don't know. I always got a lot from artists. They just like they make you think differently and I think people need art more than ever in their lives even if they're not artists just to be influenced by artists. So follow Will is a leader. You can tell people you heard the conversation tonight. I see a lot of this new fan here. I knew this would happen tonight, so I want to thank our audience. They always buy my audience likes to buy books, and now we're going to buy some music or listen to some music and get on the email list. And I'm so happy that we did this tonight with Will Dailey, somebody who I've been following for a long time. WillDailey.com is the website. Make sure you subscribe, follow him. I want to thank you so much for being here, Will. It's a long
My
time
pleasure.
coming. I'm glad you're here, and
Long time coming.
yeah, we'll have you back definitely. And thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your
And look,
week.
man, I think we started the whole. You got to have a live show. You got to do a live taping. I think that's your future, right? I mean, you go through these comments and read them up. Thanks to everyone. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Mia, and thank you. I mean, everybody.
I think it would be
Yeah,
easier if I knew Will Dailey was going to be there performing some songs because I
I'll
have
do
that
it.
kind of like imposter thing. I'd be afraid that it wouldn't be enough with me. But if I knew there was someone like Will Dailey performing, I'd be like, all right, then we can sell this. This will work. So I think we might be onto something. Maybe we could get Robbie Road Steamer too. He's another favorite that comes on the show, and
Let's
he
do
can, he
it.
can yeah,
I'd love to
we'll do something.
reconnect with him. I mean, he's put so much pride in my heart and power in my heart. Yeah.
He's a Boston guy. We love Robbie. So definitely, again, thank you so much, Will Dailey. It's an honor to have you on the show tonight. And like I said, you're a leader in music. You like the stuff you've been
Oh,
doing.
thanks, man.
I call you a legend. So I want to thank you again for being here. It's a big honor, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Again, Will Dailey, people, let's give a round of applause in the chat. If you like them, put a one up. We're gonna play some music of Will on the way out here. The first one we're gonna do is the Eddie Vedder one. People said we should close with Will's new song at the end, so that's the way we're gonna do it. Thank you so much, Will, for being here. Let's watch some of your music, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you all.
This is the Young Jerks. I love seeing all these ones people. Now we get to put up his music, and this was fun. I'm glad I did this tonight. This was a little bit out of my comfort zone, I had to say, but this is what life's about. It's about doing, challenging yourself. And I knew this would be good. I knew it would be. I knew it would work out. Let me see if I can share the screen, and we'll play some Will Dailey on the way out. We got two songs here. Let's play the. Oh, I got to make sure I have it. Hold on. This is the Eddie Vedder. This is going to be Better Man first. This is Will Dailey with Eddie Vedder playing Pearl Jam Better Man, I believe is the song. Let's watch this. I did make a mistake. I always make a couple mistakes during the show. This is not Better Man. It's Corduroy. I knew it right away when I heard it on my phone because my headphones aren't too good with music, but let's play Corduroy.
Said maybe you can introduce me as Neil Young and they won't notice it. Thanks, man. I've been lucky enough to play the United Center with our group more than a few times. And then sometimes after the show, because I got a lot of friends in Chicago, and the friends and I, and the dressing room is in the locker room, right? So we're in the Chicago Bulls locker room, me and my friends, after the show, drinking beer, having a smoke, thinking about our lives and how this could ever happen, that we could be together in the Bulls locker room, and the United Center is a sacred spot. And then we finally kick us out around 3 in the morning. What the fuck is that, buddy? They kick us out, and we'd all walk outside, and before we got in the car, we said, no, where's the statue? Where's the statue? We ain't leaving until we get a picture of us and the statue.
No. A lot of screaming going on in the Eddie video. Let me get the Will Dailey. We'll close it out with Will Dailey. I want to thank everyone before we play the Will Dailey song. Again, this is with Juliana Hatfield, who's a pretty well-known name in Boston music as well. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank our chat. We have some great people here. Thank you, Will Dailey, for being here as well. I think we did answer this, Sheila, how I met Will. It was the music. Thank you as well for the super chat tonight. User HB2. And Rose, thank you as well for your super chat. Make the live show happen. Here's my $10. We may have to. Maybe we'll do Sam and Joe's or something. I don't know. We'll figure out something. I'm a little afraid of who might show up too. There's some trolls out there now. That's the other thing. That's the other thing that we have to worry about. Yeah, that was great tonight, wasn't it? It was a good chat. You guys were amazing in the chat. I want to thank everybody for watching. You add a lot to it. Make sure you subscribe, sub up to Will's email list, willdailey.com. He's also got a YouTube. We put that in the chat tonight. Make sure you follow him, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And check out his music on Spotify and Apple iTunes and all those other places. Yeah, we all need a little boost sometimes, right? Mental health boost. That was a good chat. I think we all needed that tonight. That's why I want to start including a lot more of the artists. I saw some of the artists actually in the chat tonight that I want probably upcoming on my show. I saw Mr. Morengi. I don't know if you're still there. I definitely want to get you and your son on here. He's a selectman up in Salisbury. His son is a very good musician. The father used to play music for me when I was a kid. When he was a kid, it's good to see him and his son doing well. I also saw Detention in the chat tonight. Maybe I want to get Detention back up at the show too. He's another good one. But let's close it tonight with some Will Dailey. This is his new song from his new release. The song is called Make Another Me, and it's featuring Juliana Hatfield, a legend in Boston. Let's watch this to close the show out. Thank you so much for being here. We have the Mass State Auditor, Diana DiZoglio, coming up soon on the show. I think in 2 weeks. Make sure you like up, subscribe to the Young Jurks. Don't miss that one coming up. We're going to have some other great guests, a lot of good guests coming up on the show. I'm looking forward to this. I'm getting into doing the show that I really want to do more than worrying about numbers and all that other stuff. And that's why I liked having Will on, because he's kind of one of my go-tos on this stuff. You know, I've watched the way he moves, and it's good to have him on the show tonight. Let's listen to Will Dailey on the way out. Make Another Me, featuring Juliana Hatfield. It's from his new release, Boys Talking. Here we go, people.
Some spit in a close-up of my eye, flake of skin that I peeled off, all of my allergies and shows that I love. I still live in the town I'm from. let's do this while I'm still alive. Make another me, I could use a company. Go ahead, make another me. I lived too long to be this lonely. Go ahead, make another me. I could use a company. Go ahead, make another me,
Man, thank you for the love. Thank you